What is up, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. It's been a little while since we've had an update, so I wanted to bring you a video of what to expect going into quarter two. I know we're already 1/3 of the way through quarter two as we are approaching the end of April, but I wanted to go ahead and show you what is going to be coming up. We didn't have a ton of stuff going on in April, so May we should have a lot more things coming, like pre-orders, figure releases, and all that fun stuff. So let's go ahead and get into it. First off, we're going to start with Jada Toys. Jada Toys has a bunch of pre-orders here on the horizon. We should be getting Q2 pre-orders for the next wave of the Mega Man figures that you see here. That includes the Gemini Laser Mega Man, the Proto Man, which looks awesome. I might be picking that one up. Would be the first from the Mega Man line for me to pick up, as well as Snake Man. So that is the most recent upcoming wave for Mega Man. Now, at WonderCon in March, June showed these off in their finalized form with their packaging, which means they should be right around the corner. He said we should be getting pre-orders for those soon. It's been a month since then, and we have not seen pre-orders for those drop yet, but they should hopefully be coming in May. Now, May, if everything shakes out, is going to be a big month for Jada Toys pre-orders, with a lot of stuff releasing around summer, mid to late summer, early fall, and that does include these 3 Mega Man figures. So I would expect, hopefully, to see these in hand by mid to late summer. Up next, for Jada pre-orders that are right around the corner, we have maybe the most anticipated upcoming releases from Jada Toys, maybe even the most anticipated upcoming releases in the 1/12 action figure world, and that is the 1/12 Invincible line. These things look incredible. We did an in-hand review video a couple weeks ago from Toy Migos, who were showing the posability and articulation, and these things just look incredible. So go check that video out if you want to see a more in-depth look, but I cannot wait for these. These are the 2.0 articulated bodies coming out of Jada Toys. They're bringing an import level of articulation to a domestic product, and I think that's a huge accomplishment for a company like Jada Toys. They just continue to push the boundaries and continue to improve with every release they do. So I'm super excited about these, and the hype around these figures is real. The hype is growing. Not only do you have fans of the comics, of the animated show, and of the upcoming game that releases tomorrow, but the hype is big, and these can be a huge release for Jada Toys moving forward. So I'm excited for these, and Big Bad Toy Store usually doesn't sell out of Jada Toys pre-orders. Jada Toys is usually producing a large amount of these figures, and they're easy to get and easy to come by if you're looking for them, but I have a feeling a couple of these figures might sell out their pre-orders through places like Big Bad Toy Store, so I will definitely be updating you as soon as these pre-orders drop. Now, if you aren't subscribed, feel free to subscribe. I'll bring you news and updates as they come, live and direct, as well as in-depth reviews of these figures once they release. So if you're into that sort of content, please like this video, drop a subscription. We are trying to get to 1,000 subscribers, and we're inching ever closer every day. But guys, these Invincible figures I am super, super hyped for. Now, also, we cannot forget Jada Toys Ultra Street Fighter line. I love this line. I have almost every figure they've released so far, and we are coming on the end of the roster. We only have 2 left, the 2 deluxe big figures, T-Hawk and Zangief, and these pre-orders should be coming very soon as well. As June had mentioned, that the T-Hawk pre-order should have dropped sometime in April, but it's looking like we probably are going to, creep into May, and I'm guessing that this T-Hawk Q2 pre-order should be dropping sometime by mid-May. You see him here finalized in his packaging. Once you see these figures like this in their final packaging, they are not far behind as far as production, pre-orders, and release. So as the pattern goes, once we get a pre-order from Jada Toys, it's usually about 3 to 4 months on average for the figure to release in hand. So these hopefully should be releasing the pre-order in May to also hit sometime end of summer, early fall, I would say around August, September, to start getting this T-Hawk in hand, and he is looking awesome. I cannot wait to get this dude in hand because he is big. I really love the design of this character, and we're just so close to finishing the roster. Now, Zangief is a little bit behind. You see he doesn't have any of his final packaging or anything like that yet, but he is, finished tooling. He is about to be ready to go into production. He's looking like a finished product, and he looks awesome. Now, June did say he's about a month behind T-Hawk as far as pre-order and release goes, so I think it's safe to say if we see T-Hawk by mid-May, we should see Zangief pre-order dropping, I would say, by the end of June to hit in early fall, sometime maybe around October, and then we can wrap up the Street Fighter 2 roster. Awesome. I cannot wait for that to happen. A huge feather in the cap, no pun intended, for Jada Toys. Now, as far as Q2 releases for Jada Toys, we saw the pre-order drop for the Player 2 Blanka last month out of Big Bad Toy Store, and here we have some exclusive first images courtesy of Robo Don't Know on YouTube. He has this figure in hand, and it looks incredible. The colors, the paint is looking awesome. You can see here it's vibrant. I love the Blanka figure, one of my favorites from the Jada Toys line, so I can't wait to get this P2 color in hand. Now, if you didn't pre-order him yet, he is still available through Big Bad Toy Store for $34.99. If you're a fan of Blanka, if you're a Street Fighter fan, or if you're collecting the line, I highly suggest picking this guy up because he looks great and he is a Big Bad Toy Store exclusive. So we don't know how many were produced of this guy. Could he potentially sell out? I don't know. Again, Jada Toys usually don't sell out as far as their figures go on Big Bad Toy Store, but there is potential for that to happen since he is an exclusive. So go get your pre-order in now on Big Bad Toy Store. He is shipping and should be hitting by late May. We just got the email the other day that he's on the water, so he's making his way and should be hitting us in late May. I would say, maybe early June is possible, but he is definitely releasing here in Q2, which is interesting because, as I said, the pattern for Jada Toys is usually 3 to 4 months, but this one is looking like he could have a month to a month and a half turnaround from pre-order to release, which, is that a new standard for Jada Toys? Could that be a new pattern? Are they, releasing a little quicker? I don't know. This is just a repaint, so this could be an entirely different story. But again, the colors on this guy are looking great, and I can't wait to get this guy in hand. But that is it for Jada Toys, so let's go ahead and jump over to what to expect for Storm Arena. They have a lot of moving parts, a lot of things releasing in Q2, and as well as some upcoming conventions where we could be seeing some new releases, some previews, and stuff like that. But let's jump into their Q2 releases. Now we have the 3 King of Fighters characters, 2 of which were supposed to release in Q1 and have been pushed back as we have not got these in hand yet. We have not even seen in-hand looks from Mr. Lee. We haven't seen these release yet from China, so I'm a little concerned on these as we're approaching the midpoint of Q2. Like, if these don't release in China till, let's say, mid to late May, then US collectors unfortunately are not getting these in hand through Big Bad Toy Store until Q3, which is kind of a bummer, but these are hopefully making progress. These should hopefully start releasing soon, as people have pre-ordered these late last year. But people are really hyped for these. These are sold out. Well, 2 of the 3 figures, Goro is still available on Big Bad Toy Store if you want to pre-order him, as well as other places like Image Anime, but the other 2 characters are sold out as far as pre-orders go. But these should be Q2 releases for Storm Arena, so we should be getting these in hand hopefully soon out of China. Now, another Q2 release is the upcoming Baki figure for Hanayama. Really cool looking character if you're into the Baki series or the Baki line. We saw in-hand looks from Mr. Lee, and just today we saw him starting to come out of China vendors. So if you want to pay a little bit extra, you can get him right now through your Chinese vendors or through places like AliExpress, and it should be getting here in hand in about 2 weeks, I would say. So I ordered mine today, so you should see a review for this figure on my channel in about a week and a half to 2 weeks, which is exciting. I'm excited to get a new design out of Storm Arena. This, is a really cool sculpt, really cool design. It will be interesting to see how this character shakes out in hand. But yeah, he's on his way and should be hopefully hitting Big Bad Toy Store in about a month or so. So even if you have him pre-ordered through Big Bad Toy Store, which he is sold out, you should hopefully be getting this guy in hand by the end of Q2. Another release that was supposed to be Q1 but has now been pushed to Q2 is the Street Fighter Alpha 3 Nash from Storm Arena. Now, we've had this guy for a while now. If you want to see the in-depth review, you can see that here on this channel. But this is an awesome figure. His pre-order is sold out, but I think you may be able to get him through other vendors like Image Anime. People will have him up for sale on eBay and places like that. But if you ordered him through Big Bad Toy Store, they did just update that he is close to being ready to ship out, so this figure should be getting in hand here in the next 2 to 3 weeks, something like that, but definitely within Q2. So expect to be getting your Charlie Nash figures in hand if you have them pre-ordered through BBTS. Now, a couple other releases that should be releasing late Q2, it's expected to be releasing in June of this year, is the reissues dropped by Storm Arena for their Sagat, their Player 1 Ryu, and their Player 1 Ken. So they're re-releasing all of these Player 1 versions of these figures. People were really wanting these after they had sold out, so it's pretty cool to see that they're re-releasing these, but those re-releases are also already sold out. Actually, you may be able to get the Storm Arena Sagat still. I am not sure. Let me see and go ahead and check on that while we're here. I'm not sure. Yeah, Storm Arena Sagat is actually still available if you're wanting the Player 1 version for $34.99 on Big Bad Toy Store right now, and he should be shipping sometime in June by the end of Q2. Now, these might squeak into early Q3, just knowing, how Storm Arena shipping can have a bit of delay through Big Bad Toy Store, but these are expected to release end of Q2, and, these are highly anticipated figures for anyone who didn't get to grab them initially. Now, we don't have any known pre-orders coming up in Q2, but there are some figures that we've seen previews of from Storm Arena that we have expected to see pre-orders already happen, and that is the Darkstalkers figures, the Morgan and Lilith. These figures have looked like they've been pre-order ready for a long time now, and for one reason or another that we don't know, we have yet to see these pre-orders drop from Storm Arena. So is it possible we get these two pre-orders released here in Q2? I think it is possible. It's not guaranteed, but that would be really cool to see these two. We want to see some movement in that Darkstalkers line. We have no releases from Darkstalkers yet out of Storm Arena, but these figures, especially the Morgan, are looking good, and I would like to see those pre-orders drop. Now, because the pre-orders for Storm Arena usually drop about 10 months before the figure is in hand, I think even if the pre-orders drop today, you don't see these figures in hand from Big Bad Toy Store until early 2027, but it would still be really nice to, get these pre-orders going. Now, upcoming events for Storm Arena, we have Wonderfest 2026 that is happening May 21st through the 24th. That is at MomoCon, which I believe is an anime convention. So this is like a sub action figure con within a con, and Storm Arena is supposed to be there, which means we could see some possible new reveals of upcoming figures. We could see, you know, some of those gray prototypes we saw at the Capcom Cup a few months ago. We'll probably see updates to those, you know, articulated and painted, things like that. So that's exciting. We could see some updates out of Storm Arena here, you know, late May. And then we're also going to have EVO, the US EVO Championships, at the end of June 26th through the 28th. So that is end of Q2, but Image Anime will be in attendance at EVO, and they usually have either an exclusive from Storm. I would almost expect for a brand new exclusive to drop through Image Anime at the convention, maybe even some previews, who knows, but you know, Storm Arena will have somewhat of a presence, probably through Image Anime at the EVO convention. Now, Jada Toys doesn't have any upcoming conventions through Q2 that we know of, but in July, early Q3, we know we have San Diego Comic-Con coming up, and there's a lot of rumors of what we might see there, like some exclusives and some other really cool stuff that they should be revealing, but that is not happening within Q2, so we won't get too in-depth with that. But that pretty much wraps it up, guys, for our updates of what to expect for quarter two, at least the rest of quarter two, from Storm Arena and Jada Toys that we're looking forward to. So hopefully this was informative. If you guys like this kind of content, please drop a subscription. As I said, we're on the road to 1,000 subscribers, and we're getting pretty close. My goal was to meet 1,000 by the end of May, which is looking, that might not happen, but we're getting really close. And I appreciate all of you guys subscribing and liking and commenting. It really helps. And just thanks for taking the time out of your day to spend a few minutes with us. As you know, we know that you guys are hungry for this info. We like to provide this stuff to you guys. And let me know down in the comments, out of all this stuff coming up for Q2, what are you most looking forward to? And before we leave, I want to give a shout out to toyhabits.com, who provided a lot of these images. And yeah, thanks guys again for hanging out, and I will be bringing you updates as they come as far as all the stuff we mentioned here today. So thanks guys, and we will see you next time.